Hello mentors, it's Jack the Lad once again, obviously from the Love Local Jobs Foundation with another short video here just to give you a flavour of some of the things that I'm going to be talking to your students about when I visit them in schools. We've kind of covered off how they're feeling about school at the minute. We talked a lot about identity and discovering who you are and being happy with what you find. One of the other things that I talk to the students about in quite a bit of detail is school when it comes to their actual grades. Now, I'm very, very careful when I do this because I'm in a school and there's teachers there. And I have to be careful about the way that I phrase it when I talk to them about their grades. And I'm always very, very clear that if they are on track to get superb grades, you know, all across the board at school, then I want them to carry on doing it. I'm also very, very clear that if when they go to college, they're on track to smash their A-levels out the park, I want them to carry on doing it. And I'm also really, really clear that if they get to university and they dream of going to university and they go there and they get a first or a 2-1, absolutely do it. Because I'll make no secret of the fact that, and many of you may have been on this journey, that those grades, the stronger they are, they'll open doors for you. Absolutely, they will get you interviews and they will get your foot in the door. No doubt about that whatsoever. But on the flip side of that, one of the things that I really want these young people to understand, because I was one of these people, is that if they don't get them grades at school, and if they don't get the GCSEs that they think they need, and if they don't get to go to college and get the A-levels that they think they need, I really am passionate about trying to get them to understand that if they don't do well at school, those grades do not define who they are. And those grades do not decide what you are going to go on and achieve in the world. Because something I am really, really big on is that no one has got the right to call any other person a failure when they are 16 or 17 years old. I just don't buy into that, because that is like telling someone at 16, this is the best that you are ever going to be. I have no time for that way of thinking, and I let these students know that. And I say to them in kind of no uncertain terms really, that you can have all of these A-levels and you can have all of these degrees and you can have everything. But if you do not have the right employability skills as a human being, you are going to struggle, because the facts of the matter are this: people employ people. They do not employ pieces of paper. They do not employ pieces of paper with numbers and with letters written on them, because they do not employ grades. They employ people. And I'm quite open when I say to these young people that if you have all the degrees in the world and masters and doctorates, if that's what they're called, and stuff like that, you can turn up to your first day in the job that you've wanted for ages, and if you walk in there with the attitude of, I don't need to listen to you, mate, I can't learn anything from you. You've been here too long. You're a dinosaur. I'm the next generation. Me. I'm the next big thing. So no, you got nothing to teach me, sweetheart, darling, mate. I'm going to do it my way. I say to him, you'll get laughed out of the place. You'll get laughed out of the place. You know what I mean? Because employers are looking for people that can respect other people, work within a team, and want to better themselves. I say to these young people that if you don't have them grades, but you get an interview, and you can show a possible employer that you are respectful, that you have empathy and understanding of other people's feelings, that you're a team player, that you work hard, that you'll work well within a team, or whether you'll work well on your own, and that you are determined to do the very best you can, not just for that employer, but for yourself as well, that you have got every single chance of getting that job. Because I would employ you. I would rather give someone a chance that I know is going to give me the very best that they can, because all the while they are looking to do the very best for themselves, which you will always want to do, but at the same time, you know that they're treating all of the other people within that building with the respect and the humility that they deserve. It almost takes a weight off your shoulders, because you don't have to be turning around watching them thinking, yeah, he's got this grade, but for want of a better phrase, the person's a bit of an idiot. You know, and I'm really impassioned when I talk to the students about that. And I also encourage them to be creative when they're looking for the job that they want. And I use football as an analogy here. I say to them, you've got to be creative, because football might be your passion. You know what I mean? And football is getting bigger and bigger and bigger at the minute, both the men's game and the women's game, which is just amazing to see. But you might think, I'm all about football, but I can't play football. So is that it? You love football, you want to work in football, but you can't do it because you can't kick a ball. And I say to them, you've got to think better than that. You've got to think cleverer than that. You know, what you have to think is, right, okay, I can't kick a ball, so is the dream over? No, it isn't, because if you're good with your mouth, you can talk about it. Become a football commentator. No, you might not score the goal that wins England the World Cup in a few years, but you could be in the stadium with 90,000 fans describing it. You'll still get that moment of magic. 10 million, 20 million people listening to you on the radio or on the TV. If you're good with words and with writing, you can write about it. Again, you're in the stadium. You get to describe the game, be a football journalist. If you're good with your eyes, if you have an eye, you can photograph it. If you're good with IT, you can work on the IT side of things. You know, football clubs have websites. They need programs designed every week, every other week. If you're good with people, but you can't kick a ball, work in the hospitality side of it. I say to these students, you know, and there'll be football fans watching this. I mean, I'm a Tottenham fan for my sins, but I've been to that stadium. There are hospitality lounges all over that, and they're gargantuan. They're huge. So one of the things that I encourage these students to do, these young people to do, is not to allow what they do at school and at college to define them, because they're not failures at 16, 17, 18 years old, and no one has got the right to tell them that they are. It goes back to what we talked about when we talked about identity, and when we talked about surrounding yourself with the right people that are going to constantly encourage you, and the right people that are going to pick you up when you're down and say, go again, I believe in you. It all comes back to them people. It all comes back to them people making you understand that this doesn't define you. You've still got something to offer. Don't let these grades hold you back. And at the same time, if you go and smash your degrees, good for you. More power to you. But if you haven't got them employability skills as a person that go hand in hand with that, you are going to struggle, because I say it again, people employ people. They do not employ grades. And I'm really passionate about that. I left school with nothing. I left school with 1 GCSE. I wish I hadn't. And I tell the students this, God, I wish I hadn't. Because if I hadn't, my journey may have been easier. It certainly would have opened these doors better for me, quicker for me, no doubt. But I didn't let it define who I am. You know what I mean? If you have a work ethic, if you're disciplined, if you're decent, if you're kind, if you're ethical, and if you want to progress, you've got every chance, because employers still look for them skills. It's employability. And when you do have your virtual chat with the students real soon, when you have your first mentoring session with you, I want you to really think about that. Sorry, I just leaned back, the cameraman will tell me off, so I've come forward again now. I want you to chat about your experience there. You know, did you get the grades that you wanted at school? You know, did you smash through your GCSE, smash through your A-levels? Did you smash through your degrees or whatnot? Did you do that? Did it open doors for you quicker? Have you gotten to where you've gotten because of them qualifications and because of them grades? You know what I mean? And if you didn't, then even better, talk to the students about the fact that that might have been you. You know, no, I didn't leave school with what I was told I would need, but I've still gone on to achieve something, because what I tell these students is they're so lucky to have you guys mentoring them, because you've lived this. You know what I mean? Yes, you may have got the grades, or you might not have got the grades, but you've lived through this. Everything I'm telling them, people like me and people like you have lived through. And I really hope they engage with you there and try and instill that belief into them that it does not end at school, that their whole life is ahead of them. Don't be embarrassed or afraid to use a cliche, you know. I do all the time with them. I don't like it, but sometimes you have to put into context what we're talking about, you know. So did you get the grades you wanted at school? And in your role, how important do you think it is to have the capability to treat people the right way? Are personal skills important in your role? You know, and have you had experience of people that might have had all of them grades, but just couldn't do it? All the grades under the sun they had, but they just didn't know how to treat people. So that's what I would like to have a chat with them about as well. So we've got sort of what they were like at school, their identity, understanding who they are, and definitely have a chat with them as well about those grades, you know, and about the try and reassure them that it doesn't all end at school, and that being the right kind of person makes you just as employable as anything you've got written on a piece of paper. Okay, there's one other piece that I cover during the launch, of the Foundations program, which I'm going to talk to you about in the next video when you see me, and that's all about self-belief. But for now, yeah, and don't forget the booklet. Always revert to the booklet because the questions and the conversation starters are in there. And the next time you see me, we're going to be talking about the power and the importance of self-belief, and we're going to be doing it with the help of one of the greatest athletes, if not the greatest athlete of all time. Cheers.